welcome to RFK Stadium in Washington, where the Redskins were anything but super Monday night in the debacle to the Dallas Cowboys, and the Atlanta Falcons are hoping that they catch the Redskins at a vulnerable time this afternoon. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Randy Cross. How much can the Redskins get back to their Super Bowl form today?
It's a short week. The Redskins are happy. They get to play another game. They've got the best coaching staff in the league right now with Joe Gibbs and company, and the most important guy in uniform for the Redskins, Mark Rippon. When he gets flustered and he gets pressured, the Skins are in trouble.
We know that Deion Sanders is back for the Atlanta Falcons, but they're missing Jesse Tuggle, a very big loss. He has viral meningitis. He'll be all right, but not playing today. How much does that hurt the Falcons' defense?
Well, Jesse Solomon would be number 54 will be there. He's got to take up the slack. He'll be the quarterback on the defense, but for Atlanta, they've got to decide. Do we attack and risk big plays, or do we play zone and play soft and look for turnovers?
There is Solomon, and the Falcons will get the ball first. Eric Pegram is deep, and kicking off will be Chip Lohmiller for the Redskins. There is Pegram. It's a short kick, and Pegram will run it back starting from the 6. And the Redskins cover it with Stephen Hobbs making the tackle. Chris Miller, who has won 8 of his last 9 games in the regular season, leads the Atlanta Falcons. And their offensive front, the veteran Mike Ken, Houston Hoover, Jamie Dukes, Bill Fralick, and Chris Hinton, all veterans. Keith Jones starts for the rookie Tony Smith at running back. Tony Jones and Drew Hill, the Plan B acquisitions from Houston. Mike Pritchard and Michael Haynes, the red gun offense for the Falcons. 1st and 10 from the 18. Here's Miller to throw on 1st down, and he's going to go deep for Haynes. And Michael Haynes very nearly grabbed the ball, covered by Darrell Green, and that may be an indication of what we're in for this afternoon, Randy.
Well, you know, Atlanta and the Falcons want to stretch this Redskins defense out, especially after Monday night. Irvin and company and the Cowboys gave him trouble. Haynes nearly catches this one. You're talking about the NFL's fastest man and Darrell Green, though, so it's a perfect matchup between Haynes and Green.
What a way to start. Darrell Green, who was beaten last week, getting the crowd in action here. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
The Falcons are a lot of things, Dick, but boring is not one of them on offense.
George Thomas has come in at wide receiver. Still the red gun with 4 wideouts, and the handoff is to Keith Jones. And Jones gets about 3 or 4. And that will set up a 3rd and long for the Falcons. Defensively for the Redskins, Charles Mann, Bobby Wilson, Tim Johnson, and Fred Stokes up front. Wilson hurt a knee in the opener. Marshall, Govea, and Collins are the linebackers. Darrell Green and Mayhew are the cornerbacks. Brad Edwards and Danny Copeland the safeties, although Monty Coleman has come in, and the Redskins have their nickel defense in there on 3rd and 6. Miller has time. He was going for Drew Hill, but the pass was behind, and Drew Hill was well covered by the Redskins' extra defensive backs, and that'll bring up 4th down.
He was going to Drew Hill the entire way, Dick, and he's extremely lucky that was not an interception, because the safeties Copeland and Edwards read Miller's eyes the entire way.
Scott Fulhaig will kick for the Falcons, and Brian Mitchell goes back deep for the Redskins. So the Redskin defense holds on the first series. And they may get good field position pending this kick. Fair catch called for by Mitchell, and the Redskins will start on the 45 and actually will get some added yardage as the Falcons are called for running into Mitchell. That was Elbert Shelley.
That's a judgment call there. That is pure judgment, because there's blockers and guys covering. No foul. Couldn't be a foul, because the defenders, I think, are going to be pushed into Mitchell. Watch this. Can they stop, or are they being pushed into the punt returner? Oh, easy. Shelley, you got Mays there, 20. They're moving people around. That was just incidental contact.
And a lot of times when you think a kicker is roughed, it's because a defender has pushed someone into the kicker. So you have to watch that. And so the Redskins will start from their 45-yard line. Mark Rippon, coming off a miserable opener in Dallas after holding out virtually all of preseason. Ernest Biner is the running back, and he'll get the call on first down. And he'll pick up 3 yards on the play. Tim Green making the stop for the Falcons. Mark Rippon, the quarterback for the Redskins, and he heard the boos when he was introduced to this RFK Stadium crowd before the game. The offensive front, Jim Lachey, Rollie McKenzie, Jeff Bostic, Mark Schlereth, Joe Jacoby, Don Warren, the tight end, Monk, Sanders, and Clark. That's the posse along with Biner at running back, but there are 2 tight ends now on 2nd and 7 at the 48. Rippon swing pass. Open is Biner out of the backfield. He's got a first down. A gain of 10 yards. Jesse Solomon, but it was Ken Tippins first to get him. Solomon, a key man for the Falcons today. Up front, Gann, Gardner, and Barnett, but most of the plays are made by the linebackers. Tippins and Reed, and Solomon playing for Jesse Tuggle and Darian Connor. Tim McKyer and Bruce Pickens start the game at cornerback. Scott Case and Jeff Donaldson are the safeties, and Deion Sanders begins this game on the sideline. First down on the Atlanta 42. Middleton is in at H-back, and the call goes to Biner. Not much there, and making the tackle was Solomon. Just a 2-yard gain for the Redskins brings up second down.
As you watch this game today, pay tight attention to these guys right up here going against the offensive line of the Redskins. It's a physical mismatch. We're talking men and boys, pros and college players. Size differential is big. The Falcons have got to take chances up front to be effective against this offensive line of the Redskins.
You saw what happened when they did in regular season last year. Rippon picked them to pieces.
6 touchdowns and 442 yards.
Wow. Second down and 8 at the 40-yard line. Again, they go to the bread and butter. This is Ernest Biner around left end, and he should have another first down for the Redskins. They're playing conservatively to start. They want to get in sync, which they were not against the Cowboys. Bruce Pickens and Connor made the tackle, but it's another first down.
And Dick, you know, it was surprising in talking to Joe Gibbs on Friday. He said, I have never felt better about a game plan than I did last Monday night. I thought it was a slam dunk. We were going to do great, and it blew up in our faces. And he said, come Sunday, we're going to come out conservative. We're going to come out very close to the vest, and that's what we've seen. Little dump offs to the running back, quick little runs. And so far, Atlanta's corners, the corner of their defense, the outside linebackers and support guys are soft.
Deion Sanders is in the game for the first time. And on first down, Biner gets about a couple, that's all, a 2-yard gain. So Deion Sanders has replaced Pickens at cornerback. Torrey Epps is in for Mo Gardner at nose tackle, and Tim Green has been in the game as well since the start. So that's the changes that the Falcons have to do with Tuggle out of there. Green is starting the game.
And with Sanders in there, you got to look for Atlanta to play a lot of man-to-man. With motion by the Redskins, changing around zones and coverages, they could get confused with the guy that's been there only 3 days.
Hey, Jack, this is Joey.
Second down and 8 on the 27. Rippon rolling out. He has Ricky Sanders, who drops the ball. He was free at the 22-yard line, but could not hold on to it. And that'll bring up third down. Amazing athlete Deion Sanders, who reported to practice this week and then went to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, came in the game for the Braves as a pinch runner and scored the winning run in their victory.
He's one of a kind. I think even more unusual and more special even than a Bo Jackson, because here's a guy that can go from day to day, not from sport to sport. Bo was a full-time baseball player, then a football player. This guy's doing it during the same week on the same days.
Amazing. He's out of the game, as you saw. Pickens replaces him on 3rd and 8. They bring Sanders in motion, and Rippon gets time. And there's Biner out of the backfield, and he's going to be held up short of the first down by about 3 or 4 yards. And Chip Lohmiller will come in. Ken Tippins made the stop on Biner, so the Redskins will have the first opportunity to get on the scoreboard.
Watching Chip Lohmiller in warm-ups, you know, last week in Dallas is a place he loves to kick, and he was very effective. Even here, from 48 yards, Lohmiller's kicking it into the net, so he's got plenty of leg. I'd say his range is anywhere from about 54, 55 in.
39-yard attempt. He tried only one against the Cowboys, and that was good from 49 yards out. Jeff Rutledge will be the holder. And this kick is going to be off wide to the right. So Lohmiller misses one from 39 yards out. So despite good field position and getting into Falcon territory, Atlanta holds.
Okay, so these guys may know a little more than we do about Bud.
It's the rice. It's the hops. It's the rice.
But of course, we know a lot about other things.
Hi. Can I buy you something to drink? Yeah, like maybe a light beer? Or maybe you'd like a Bud.
Someday, boy, you're gonna learn from your mistakes.
Some premium gasolines don't give you smooth performance during warm-up. Some don't give you the highest level of engine cleaning or a full 93 octane. But Exxon 93 Supreme gives you all three.
Let the tiger set you free.
For high performance, rely on Exxon Supreme.
Rely on the tiger. I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beard. Bic Regular, a great shave at a great price.
I'm a big man.
Bic Sensitive, Bic Baby's tender skin. Bic Metal, slim head, total control.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man.
Regular, sensitive, metal.
I'm a big man.
When this play first came, Dick Stockton told you Deion Sanders isn't in, Pickens is in. Watch all the defenders drop back and the hole open in the defense over in that corner. What Atlanta wants to do, they want to drop back. They want to give a soft cushion, then they want to fill up, make the plays, in this case, stop them before they get a first down, and try to cause a turnover. So far, we've seen less man-to-man and more zone out of the Atlanta Falcons.
That's not normally their style, but it's a 0-0 game, and the Falcons come out 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. Andre Rison is in the game, and he is in motion for the Falcons. He did not play last week. Play action. Miller under siege, loses the ball.
Fumble.
And it's recovered by Atlanta. That's the good news. The bad news is that they'll be inside their 10-yard line. And it was Fred Stokes, the big play man, who came storming in. And we may have an injury in there as well.
Looks like big Jamie Dukes, the starting center, is down on the ground. Watch this. Last year, Atlanta and Washington twice. Once in the playoff, once regular season. 12 turnovers from the Falcons. And he just loses the handle. Stokes puts a little pressure on him, but the ball just comes right out of Miller's hands. There's Jamie Dukes on the ball. I think he just got pounded down onto it. One more time. Stokes coming from the top of the screen. Doesn't bite on the fake screen to the right. Miller wanted to go to Rison on the left.
And a loss of 15 yards, but it could have been real disaster for the Falcons. And 15-yard loss on a sack. It'll be 2nd down and 24 for the Falcons on their own 8-yard line. Steve Broussard in the game at running back, and he gets the pass out of the backfield and picks up good yardage, nearly bringing it out to the 20-yard line. Charles Mann, in his pursuit downfield, makes the tackle, and they get 11 of those yards back.
You know, whether it's the Detroit offense or this offense they call the run and gun in Atlanta, a real big play is the quick flip, quick screens to your running back. Up north in Detroit, it's Barry Sanders. Here it's a guy just like this, like Broussard. hard. Just flip it out there, get your lineman out in front.
Tony Smith, the #1 draft pick, started at running back last week. He has a bruised knee.
And they're really not quite sure what it is in Tony Smith's knee. Jared Glanville says, well, it's somewhere under the kneecap. It's swelling. We know the guy's tough. He's been playing with cracked ribs.
So they have to go with Keith Jones, Pegram, and Broussard. Jumpy Geathers has come in, the pass rusher. And a timeout called by the Falcons with 3rd down and 13 coming up, and Chris Miller going to the sidelines to talk things over with June Jones. Falcons with a victory over the Jets last week. They took an early lead and held on, but it was an impressive last drive that used up the clock. And right now we're going to send you to New York for an update as the Giants and the Cowboys are underway.
All right, Dick, at the Meadowlands, the Cowboys started with a 72-yard drive capped by Emmitt Smith's 5-yard run, and then Robert Williams recovered a blocked punt in the end zone. Cowboys off to a quick 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Dick?
Well, you know they're going to be yelling for Ray Handley's scalp. I don't know if he could do anything about this hot Cowboy team and Emmitt Smith, Randy.
I don't know what they can do about his scalp either, but they can do something about his contract.
To put it bluntly, could be a long year for the Giants. 3rd down and 13. They bring Haynes wide to the right to the bottom up part of your picture. Pritchard in motion. Chris Miller's pass, it's caught by Rison, and Andre Rison with his first catch of the season brings it out to the 27-yard line, but well short of a first down. A pickup of 7. Alvoid Mays covering, and the Falcons will have to punt again.
And the Redskins on that play brought 3 rushers, had no intention of bringing more than that, dropped back the other 8, and really had all the zones and everything covered, much like Atlanta did. Make them throw it in front of them, try to make a mistake happen.
That's Brian Mitchell. And Scott Fulhaig will kick for the Falcons. And a fine kick by Fulhaig, and Mitchell will have to go back inside his 20. And Brian Mitchell is down at the 33-yard line. The last time the Redskins returned a punt, they got it to their own 45. Elbert Shelley on the tackle. 14-yard return that time by Mitchell. Dick Stockton and Randy Cross here at RFK Stadium. 7:20 remaining in the first quarter. No score. The Redskins had the best opportunity thus far. Chip Lohmiller missed the 39-yard field goal attempt wide right, and now they'll start from their 33. With 2 tight ends, Warren and Middleton. Clark split to the left. Mo Gardner back at nose tackle. Play fake for Rippon. He's looking for Gary Clark, and he's got it. Out of bounds, short of midfield, and a first down for the Redskins and a gain of 15. Pickens covering.
People think of Mark Rippon as a quarterback who's very stable, very immobile, can't move. One of the most dangerous plays they have is when they get big number 11 out of the pocket, let him move around, and then the receivers are freelancing. Then the receivers are doing their thing one-on-one against the defensive backs. In that case, Pickens could not let Clark get behind him, and the comeback was easy.
Ricky Sanders replaces Middleton, so the posse in there now on a first down at midfield. No score with 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. And here is Ernest Biner charging off left tackle, and he gets a fine gain. 7 yards for Ernest Biner, who was the leading rusher last week with 56 yards. Darian Connor making the tackle, and a good block by the offensive line in the middle.
And an honorary offensive lineman is Donnie Warren, lined up in the wing right there on the left side. Where Donnie Warren goes, that's where the run's going for the Redskins. I know it's predictable. I know everybody knows it. Joe Gibbs knows everybody knows it. They just don't stop it.
The veteran Bobby Butler has replaced Jeff Donaldson in the secondary for the Falcons. 2nd and 3 on the Atlanta 43. Bread and butter again, Biner. And he's going to get stopped. Maybe a loss. Let's say back to the line of scrimmage. Jesse Solomon, who was just brought in a week before the season started. a free agent who played at Tampa Bay last year and most of his career with the Vikings and some with the Cowboys.
I tell you, Dick, doesn't matter where you played in the past or how long you've been in the Atlanta system. When the Redskins run that counter tray, you've seen that from every other team in the NFL. So it was very well read by the defense and stuffed up.
Now, Dallas, or I should say Atlanta's defense, has hung up pretty well against Washington with that strong offensive line. They've sprung one runner for 7 yards.
Well, so far they're holding up good. What Washington does, though, is they use the Chinese water torture trick. They'll just pound you and pound you and pound you. They'll wait till they pop a big run, or they'll wait till you get lulled to sleep, and they'll pop a big play over the top with a Gary Clark.
Tim Green was shaken up, and he has left the game for the Falcons, who face a 3rd down and 3 on the 43-yard line. Notice where they bunch the receivers. Now Monk moves. Rippon with plenty of time. He completes to Art Monk. And it's another 1st down, and Art Monk now has caught a pass in 134 consecutive games. That's the 3rd most in the history of the league. He picked up 7.
And one thing Joe Gibbs and this coaching staff love to do is use motion to put the pressure on the defense, opening up certain pockets in the zone. And here you got a guy like a Monk, and all he did was run down, see where the markers were, got past the marker, and turned around and Rippon hit him.
So it is a 1st down on the 36-yard line of Atlanta. Most of this quarter has been spent with the Redskins in Falcon territory, but still no score. Up the middle goes Biner. And Biner gets to the 30-yard line. Well, the Redskins have found a soft middle in the Falcons' defense, a gain of 6 that time with Solomon on the stop.
That play there was sort of unusual. It was designed to go over in this area. Biner sees that's blocked and stopped up, and he just takes it back on his own. See, watch. Going to be a quick trap in the middle. Biner sees the hole over to the right, and he's getting so much push from his offensive lineman up front. That's what opened that play up. They softened the inside of the defense of the Falcons.
Deion Sanders is in at cornerback. That's 2nd down and 4 for the Redskins on the Atlanta 30. And he'll be eyeing Clark at the bottom of your picture. Instead, it's the running game to Biner, and a loss on the play. And Jesse Solomon, what an assignment he has today, not only calling the defensive signals, but filling in for Tuggle. And that is the 4th tackle of this 1st quarter for Solomon, and a loss of 2. And
he's replacing a guy in Jesse Tuggle that's had over 200 tackles in the last 2 years. The guy is amazing. Jerry Glanville flat out will tell you he's the best middle linebacker in the NFL. I think he's one of the luckiest middle linebackers in the NFL because he's in a defense that allows him to run sideline to sideline. He's got a great combination of size and speed.
This defense does take risks. 3rd down and 6 now at the 32. There's the time, under 3 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Rippon gets some pressure in the pass to Art Monk. And they say he is out of bounds. He was pushed out of bounds at the 25, did not have both feet in. It was Deion Sanders and Brian Mitchell, the former Cowboy, covering on the play. And now they're going to bring Lohmiller in, but this would be a very long field goal attempt.
One thing the Redskins do, they keep lots of people in. You got Donnie Warren over on the right. You've got even Sanders, 83, is on the right, and he's pass protecting. Look at Warren, 85. Sanders, 83, tries to cut down the rookie Smith. They kept 8 people in there on that 3rd and long play right there to make sure Rippon didn't have too much pressure on him.
Force out is ruled. Catch.
And they rule it a catch. They rule it a catch. And it is a 1st down. So they changed the call. At first they said it was an incomplete, and Lohmiller came on the field, and now they say that Art Monk did not have both feet in but was pushed out of bounds, and that would be a completed pass. So a 1st down. There's a big difference.
Well, they didn't say after further review, but what this is them saying a little conference on the field. 1, 2, that's right, he's being pushed. The tip of his right foot, the 2nd foot, was out of bounds, but he was being pushed from behind by Butler.
And it's a 1st down on the 25-yard line. So instead of a long field goal attempt, the Redskins are inching closer to the Falcons' goal line. 2:19 to go in the 1st quarter. Rippon getting chased and going deep. Wide open is Art Monk. And the pass is incomplete, and I'll tell you why. Tim McKyer is upset because he almost had an interception there.
Tim McKyer ought to be happy right there because Mark Griffin was under some pretty good pressure back there. Had no time to set and throw. If he had, it's an easy 6 points. An easy 6 points. Because Mo Gardner coming out of the middle. Watch 67, the nose guard, break completely free. Right here. Here he's coming. Rippon can't set. Now, if he can fire this on a rope, end of discussion, end of play. They're playing hail to the Redskins. He lofted it up there, and it gave McKyer time to get under the ball.
You know, Randy, they would have been on the second chorus by now.
I hate that song.
Well, we get out of town after this game anyway, right?
We played here a lot. I had to listen to it. They scored a lot.
2nd and 10 on the 25, and here's an end around with Art Monk carrying. And Monk is put down by Deion Sanders. He picked him up, put him down, and made no mistake about it. And the net result is only a 4-yard gain for Art Monk on the play.
You know, when I talked to Deion before the game, it was on NFL Today, and Deion is talking about, well, hey, football's different. It's not a real contact thing. I'm just out there running around with my speed. Well, you can't use much speed when you're shoving your shoulder into a guy coming around on a reverse that outweighs you by about 20 pounds. He's got some rib muscles problems, but he didn't let it show there.
You mean he can't take 4 cuts in the batter's box after that kind of a tackle? 3rd down and 6. And Rippon on 3rd and 6 has time. Crossing pattern to Clark. And Clark will have a first down for the Redskins. And it was the move he made after the catch. Gardner on the tackle, a gain of 8.
Well, you talk about the zone defenses and the whole idea. Drop back, get back, let him throw the ball underneath, and we'll make the play. There's an example of a guy that's good enough. He wouldn't let the defense get him before he got his first down. You can't game plan for that kind of ability.
Redskins with a first down on the 13-yard line. They're going to bring Terry Orr in as the H-back, and the 2 tight ends, Middleton and Warren.
Here's the area Atlanta loves to blitz.
Ernest Biner and a loss on the play, and that was Jesse Solomon with his 5th tackle of this first quarter, and we have a half a minute remaining in the first quarter, and a loss on the play of 1 yard.
See what Jesse Solomon sees. Things start to the left. Look at him step up. He knows the linemen are going out. He knows the hole will be to his right, so he fills up. When you hear the term a fill, a linebacker filling on the play, great example and a nice play by linebacker Jesse Solomon's only been here a week, but he's had those instincts the whole lifetime.
And the clock is going to run down, and that will be the history of this first quarter in which the Redskins have dominated the ball control. But that is the end of the first quarter here at RFK Stadium on a splendid day. No score between the Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Redskins.
This is the end of how you think about dandruff shampoo, of Head & Shoulders as you now know it. Now it's better. Because new Head & Shoulders gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts to help prevent flakes. Would you try this with your ordinary shampoo? I think not. No other shampoo has this formula. New Head & Shoulders. This could be the end of flakes. Period.
Just because you go all out, doesn't mean you gotta stink. Not if you're wearing this. And here comes your chance to prove it. And you will, because Old Spice works. Man, does it work. Fights wetness, kills bacteria. The proof?
Hey, hotshot.
You're looking at her.
Old Spice antiperspirant for great odor protection. You demand proof, not promises.
The scenery is majestic. Your camera is poised. You're struck by the beauty of the mountain. And then you're struck by the mountain. Why risk your camera when you can use ours? Fuji Quick Snap, one-time use cameras.
If your business gives up the quality of AT&T Pro Watts and calls from Boston to Chicago with someone else, here's your big savings. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
2 former champions, Stefan Edberg and Pete Sampras, meet for the men's final of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships on CBS Sports.
welcome back to RFK Stadium. Dick Stockton and Randy Cross, where there's no score, but the Redskins threaten 2nd down and 11. They're on the Atlanta 14-yard line. Redskins had the ball for 11.5 minutes in that first quarter. Came up empty.
Falcons showing blitz.
And there's the blitz, and the pass caught by Gary Clark at about the 6-yard line. Scott Case, the free safety, who's playing with a cast on his broken right wrist, made the tackle.
And Rippon back to pass. Here comes Solomon on one side, Reed on the other. Going for the blitz. They get a hit on Rippon. The ball seems to be a little tipped. What do you do if you have a bad thumb and pins in your bones in your thumb? You do what Scott Case did. You put your head and your shoulder in the meat of the guy and knock him down.
Isn't that the way you're supposed to do it anyway?
Well, you don't worry about wrapping him up when you hit somebody that hard.
3rd down and 2. The ball is at the 5. Third and 2, and the pass goes to Biner. He's in. Touchdown, Redskins. Five-yard touchdown pass.
Monk's in motion, opens up the zone. Look at Deion Sanders go deep. That opens up that left side, and Jesse Solomon's got no chance coming in late after that motion behind the receiver Monk.
And let's see if it's an illegal procedure call. As many of the Falcons jumped off sides, they may have been drawn. Referee today is Bob McElwee, one of the best in the NFL.
Encroachment defense. Encroachment defense.
A lot of feedback on his mic.
On the kickoff.
So a 5-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff. I hope he doesn't have to use that much today.
Well, Jimi Hendrix could have done it better on that feedback there. It's a little off tone now.
Good byplay there is Biner and Rippon talking things over with Ricky Irvins, who'll get his chance before this game is over. Here is Lohmiller again with Rutledge holding. And the kick is good. So on the second play of the second quarter, the Redskins take a 7-0 lead. In running backs, Biner, who scored the touchdown, his first of the year as a receiver, and Irvin.
And before that extra point, we went away for commercial. We heard Biner, Irvins, and Rippon discussing the blitzes, discussing the linebacker's body language. I could see him coming. He was coming. I knew he was coming. And Rippon's got to sit there and kind of go, well, yeah, I'm the quarterback. I saw him too, yeah.
Chip Lohmiller will kick off, and Eric Pegram is the deep man for the Falcons. 50 seconds have elapsed here in the second quarter. And the Redskins, after their embarrassment Monday night in Dallas, where they had breakdowns in every aspect of the game, back to basics. That must be their theme today. And Pegram will have a chance to run it back, starting from the 1. And Stephen Hobbs. Good coverage on special teams as Pegram doesn't get to the 15.
That last touchdown was a good example of a guy, Jesse Solomon, got in camp a little late and reacting a little slow. Watch Monk come in motion, come here, and he kind of shields him. It's not a pick. So watch Solomon. He gets a little bit of a late start trying to stay with Biner. Plays over now. Forget it. It's a touchdown. All Rippon has to do is get it to him. You can't spot a running back 3 or 4 yards and expect to get to him.
Falcons will start from their 12-yard line. They have 3 wide receivers lined up to the left in the red gun. Penalty marker is down, and Miller will stop, and apparently it's blown dead. It might be probably against the offense, and it will be against the Falcons. Illegal procedure. Ball start.
Offense. Before the snap. 5 yards.
Penalties on Chris Hinton. 5 yards for the Pro Bowler, the former All-Pro from the Colts. They got in that great trade here. Risen and Hinton came here. Glanville loves to use them, but now this is a tough situation. I've been here. You do not want your back to this crowd in this situation. This is almost like an indoor stadium. That's what Jerry Glanville told us yesterday. It's almost like a dome, and they're about to be sitting in the loudest part of this stadium when that whole ends-down red zone crowd seems like they're right behind you, literally right behind you.
Atlanta has not had anything near decent field position so far. They're back to their 7-yard line and a first down and 15. Steve Broussard. Nothing doing. And it was Kurt Gouveia, the middle linebacker, in quickly.
What a play. We talked about Solomon, their 54. Watch the Redskins 54. Gouveia just fill. You want to see a fill again by a linebacker? A nose for the ball? Look at that. You don't coach that. You don't teach that. You're born with that. There's Kurt Gouveia. Actually, he's got a little beard to go with that whole goatee thing working now.
You had one of those, didn't you?
Oh, no.
At one time. Second down and 15. No gain on the last play. Miller dumps it off, but it's tipped. Tim Johnson got a hand on it. How many times have you seen those balls tipped in the air in return for an easy touchdown? But it'll be an incomplete third and 15.
Well, Chris Miller is very lucky that Johnson tips this pass, because I think Andre Collins would have returned it right on him for about a 7-yard touchdown. Watch Johnson. They're trying to set up a screen. He just flips it down. I mean, he wasn't disappointed it got slammed down, I don't think. He didn't look like it had a lot of authority or meaning behind that pass.
Well, if you're Joe Gibbs, you couldn't ask for a better start to this game where your offense, playing good, fundamental, sound running game, has possession, and their defense has the opposition backed up. Third and 15 again. Miller's pass, and Andre Rison makes the reception at the 20-yard line. Let's see, the Redskins are claiming he trapped it. It will be shy of a first down in any event, even if he made the catch by a couple of yards.
Well, it's been called a catch. They're not going to replay it, and they're going to punt.
But at least they'll give Scott Fulhaig a little breathing room.
You know, Fulhaig's in a funny situation now. He's now a dome kicker. He's always been a great outdoor kicker. Now he's a dome kicker.
Well, there's Brian Mitchell, but he's got some company back there as well. Desmond Howard is also back to return the punt. There's Howard, the number 4 pick in the draft, Heisman Trophy winner for the Michigan Wolverines. And here is Mitchell at the 45-yard line, and he throws to Desmond Howard. Here goes Howard. He's going to score. Brian Mitchell was a former college quarterback, and he threw a perfect spiral to Desmond Howard, who makes his first impact in a Redskin uniform, 58 yards. And this place is rocking early.
That's what's known as a taste of your own medicine.
Chip Lohmiller's kick. And there's a whistle. There's a penalty marker down. So let's wait.
That's the kind of razzle-dazzle Jerry Glanville puts on teams normally. Wayne Sevier.
Ball start on the center before the snap. 5 yards. Retry.
Wayne Sevier, the special teams coach for the Redskins, loses a little razzle-dazzle and puts it right back on him.
Desmond Howard. You know, you had to think something was up where the Redskins never have 2 men back to receive a punt. And Mitchell certainly could handle it himself, but the razzle-dazzle worked, and look at the smile on Desmond Howard's face. His first NFL touchdown.
You know what? They're happy. They're congratulating, but you know what they're still saying to him? Yeah, nice job, Rook.
Right. 5-yard penalty. So Lohmiller from 25 yards out makes good on the conversion. Wayne Sevier, the special teams coach, 58-yard play, and it's 14-0. From Brian Mitchell. Biner had scored a touchdown earlier, and the Redskins have controlled this game from the start and lead it 14-0.
Yep. Offensive coordinator Rod Dow, however, the Redskins said, hey, no matter how much we hold on to the ball, we can throw our receivers like Sanders and Howard. We can run it with Biner. If you don't get touchdowns, time of possession means nothing.
Well, you knew it wouldn't be long before Deion Sanders would come into the game as a return man. The Falcons in an early hole, 14-0, and this isn't the place you want to be behind early. Larry Peccatello said before the game, he's the linebacker defensive coordinator. He says the crowd could go either way today after a Monday night game, and you know which way they've gone.
And Atlanta's in a position they got to make something happen now. You can't let the team and the crowd get down on you here in Washington. It can get ugly.
And Deion Sanders waiting at the 1. And there's Sanders, has one man to beat. And he's gone.
It is a touchdown.
No penalty markers down. That may be a 99-yard touchdown play. No, it's 100. What a game.
Well, if you can bat 300 in the major leagues, you can step in 2 days later and run a kickoff back for a touchdown.
And that's with bad ribs.
All right, Desmond Howard. I haven't been in the league that long. But if you can do that on a trick play, watch what I can do on a play where it's just me, a few blocks, and a lot of speed. Look at this. This is scary speed. Forget it and book it. It's done.
Deion Sanders leads the National League in triples. This was a home run. 100-yard kickoff return, and it's 14-6. Norm Johnson will try to bring the Falcons to within a touchdown. And he does. Electrifying plays by both sides, back-to-back, by Desmond Howard and Deion Sanders.
Wow, well, we saw a 99er, but watch this. Watch Desmond Howard. Okay, there's the bait. There's the lure. Here it goes. There's the trick. In fishing, this is called ripping lips, because you get that lure out there, that fish bites on it, and you just pull them in. And the fish in this case were the special team, the punt team of the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, it wasn't much time in the sun for Desmond Howard as Deion Sanders took care of that, and this is the second time he has returned to kick 100 yards for a touchdown. He did it last year.
Well, Desmond just learned a very important lesson here in the NFL, and specifically when you're playing the Atlanta Falcons. Don't ever, ever try to upstage prime time.
He returned at 100 yards last year against the 49ers and does it here against the Redskins.
And this is right here. From now on, you're just talking speed. How fast is Deion Sanders? Deion Sanders is faster than anybody in the NFL chasing him.
14-7. And this crowd already has gotten its money's worth, and we have 11:54 remaining in the first half.
And they're a lot quieter than they were just about a minute ago before Deion ran that one back.
They got Desmond Howard and Brian Mitchell back. Norm Johnson will kick off for the Falcons. And it's a returnable kick, and it'll be Mitchell at the 7-yard line. Brian Mitchell looking to break one. And it was Bruce Pickens who wouldn't let him get away. Got a fine return and a penalty marker down.
Penalty flag. Remember, Atlanta's a very spirited, very emotional team right there. And they can sometimes either intimidate people or make mistakes themselves trying to intimidate people.
A 32-yard return by Brian Mitchell. Bob McElwee will explain.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting foul, number 30 on the return team. Throwing the ball in a man's face, 15 yards.
Oh, that was
first down.
Normally, you'd think the Atlanta Falcons, and you hate to put a label on them, but that's their reputation.
Well, that's Mitchell. When you come in to play the Falcons, or they come in your place to play you, you know it's coming. And sometimes you try to react. Sometimes you try to make something happen from an intimidating standpoint, and that was just a real lack of concentration and a poor move on Mitchell's part. You don't react to the taunting intimidation.
So the Redskins will have to settle for a starting point of the 25-yard line. Ricky Irvin is in at running back for the first time today. Rippon looks one way and is passed the other to Art Monk. It's a catch and a gain of about 4.
Nice job by the Atlanta defense there, because Rippon wanted to throw it over to the right, get it to Gary Clark in the right flat. But Tim McKyer on the left side of that defense had it completely smothered, and by the time he came back left to Monk, Pickens was all over him.
Scores of other games. Second down and 6 on the 29-yard line. Sanders is at the top. Monk and Clark to the bottom. And up the middle goes Ricky Irvins, and a big burst and a first down. Ken Tippins makes the tackle, and a gain of 12 yards for Ricky Irvins, who gained 104 yards against the Falcons and a touchdown in the playoffs last January.
One thing all the motion of the Redskins does sometimes is it intimidates teams and causes them to widen up. You got motion this way. You got motion this way. What happens? A hole opens right in the middle of the defense. You're thinking lateral, and they're thinking right in your face.
First down on the 37. 14-7, the Redskins lead the Falcons. Here's Irvins off the right tackle. And Ricky Irvins gets about 5-6 yards before Michael Reed makes the tackle. Getting a breather on the Falcon bench is prime time Deion Sanders. Now he could play for the Braves today. He's already contributed for this team.
But Deion's an unusual player in that he's come in this late, but he's in great condition. Guys like he and Andre Rison can step right off the bus, put on their shoes, and play. Doesn't matter. They stay in great condition. Conditioning won't be a factor for Deion.
Second down and 6. And Rippon's going to go deep for Ricky Sanders, and it's intercepted by McKyer. No flag down, and McKyer returning back to the 25. And Tim McKyer has the first interception of the year for the Atlanta Falcons. A return of 14 yards, although there might have been a little push just before he made the pick.
Well, you know, Dick, you talk about conservative play calling. You get a punt return for a touchdown. You get a touchdown on a kickoff return, and I think sometimes you're tempted to go deep. You're trying to make the big play.
Block in the back, and the other is blocking below the waist.
And Darryl Green says, we'll take the best one, tells Bob McElwee. Actually, he'd like to see, those are 2 big penalties. Can we get 30 yards for 2 bad penalties like that? We'll just lump them all together.
2 for the price of 1. Why not?
But they tried to make a big play. And like Terry Bradshaw said today,
number 23 on the return team, half the distance to the goal line. That penalty is accepted. The blocking below the waist foul is declined. First down.
Bobby Butler committed the foul that they're going to accept, and they'll be set back again.
This morning on the NFL Today made the point that Rippon was overthrowing last week. He overthrows again, and McKyer, 22, has great speed, had 6 picks last week, and plays that pass a lot better than the offensive receiver did.
First down on the 5-yard line. The Falcons' average starting position has been their own 14 in this game. Miller backed up to his end zone, and he wants to go deep. Overthrown. Mayhew going for the ball that was well overthrown. The intended receiver, Tony Jones.
You know, in a pattern like that, when a receiver is that far overthrown, what you look for is you look for contact. Was he knocked off stride? Was he knocked off the pattern he wanted to run? Now, bottom of the screen, 83, Tony Jones. Look at Mayhew. Look at that wasn't contact. Look at the cushion Mayhew was giving him 10 yards. How are you going to run by a guy like that? Why throw it to a guy that's being covered like that?
Why? Good question. Second and 10. Steve Broussard is the lone running back. But Miller wants to pass, and the quick pass to Rison. Incomplete, couldn't hold on. Closest to him was Andre Collins. So now the Redskins will bring in their nickel package in their pass rushers like Jumpy Geathers on 3rd down and 10 from this 5-yard line. Monty Coleman also part of it. You know there'll be pressure on Miller here.
Oh, for sure, Dick. And in a pass like that Andre Rison dropped, that is a very tough play to be running straight ahead, twist around to one side, expect the ball, then twist around the other way and try to hold on to it.
There is Jumpy Geathers. He'll be trying to jump down Miller's throat here. Miller going to run it. And all he'll do is give Scott Fulhaig some room as he is shy of the first down. Gain of 9. Wilbur Marshall was there to defend, and Miller is upset, and he really has not had any kind of field position to do his thing so far today. But the Redskins are held.
They haven't been able to really open up their playbook. And you know, Miller's a great quarterback, came out of the University of Oregon. Oregon's had some great passers. Dan Fouts, Bill Musgrave's a backup now at San Francisco. Not too many great scramblers have come out of Eugene, though. And Miller's not a guy you worry about a whole lot beating you with the run.
Brian Mitchell is back. He is the only one back for the Redskins. Fulhaig will kick from the goal line. And he gets off a beauty. Mitchell. He'll get it into Falcon territory. And another outstanding return by the Redskins on special teams. A 22-yard return by Brian Mitchell will bring the ball into Atlanta territory at the 36 when we return to RFK Stadium. About the intensity and where it is and where it isn't in this game.
Very intense game, all except for one place. When teams are kicking off or teams are punting, the coverage teams are letting down, and the pursuit and the intensity, that's all special teams does is attitude, and the coverage team's attitude so far stinks.
The average starting field position has been heavily in the favor of the Redskins. They lead at 14-7 and a first down on the 35-yard line of the Falcons. Ricky Irvins. Maybe a yard or two, and that's all. And Mo Gardner, the nose tackle, filling in.
I think that average field position speaks volumes to the real execution right now by the Redskins. Something Joe Gibbs was very concerned of his offense coming in here. He wanted to keep it simple, and he wanted them to execute. With that type of field position, you've got to be getting more points.
And defensively, they have done the job because the Falcons have not been able to unleash their spectacular red gun. And it's reflected in the total yards. Second down and 8 on the 33, and there is an end around again to Art Monk. They did it before, they do it again, and they may have another first down. Art Monk, busy man thus far in this first half, which has 7.5 minutes to play.
Well, you got to give the Redskins credit and say they executed that very well. But I think also in the equation enters the fact that Jesse Tuggle is not in there, and they've got Solomon, 54, at middle linebacker, trying to make the calls. They've been outflanked at least 4 times so far early in this game, and I think a lot of that is defensive positioning called by the quarterback of the defense.
Going to measure to see whether the Redskins have another first down, and they're shy by about a yard, maybe less.
Second and short, and this position of the field is perfect play action possibilities. It's like, you know, it's a wasted pitch in football. I mean, in baseball, you can waste a pitch here. The Redskins can waste a play here with a little play action and go deep into the end zone.
They need about a foot, as we saw the measurement, and Terry Orr has come in as the H-back. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Redskins trounced the Falcons 56-17 in the regular season, and then 24-7. Don Warren and Ray Brown are in as well as tight ends. It's packed tight. Warren is the up back in the backfield. And here is Ricky Irvins off the left side, and he should have enough for a Redskin first down, and he does. Picked up 2.
Well, that's what Ricky Irvins told us about Friday. You know, I'm the short yardage runner, and we get into the jumbo package. How a guy that's 5'7", about 200 pounds, fits into the jumbo package, I don't know. But you've got Ray Brown working at tight end, who's 310, 300 pounds. You got Donnie Warren as a fullback. You've got Orr. You've got Middleton. You've got, you know, where's the beef? End of discussion.
Yeah,
on the field.
He's about, what, 5'11", 200? Jumbo?
5'7".
First and 10 on the 24-yard line. Ricky Irvins doesn't get much as he tests the left side of the Atlanta line. Pickup of a yard. Bobby Butler came up from the secondary to make the tackle. Clock is running. Nearly 6 minutes remaining in the first half.
Watch the push by the right side of the Redskins line working on that play. They get surged, but you know what? They get blocked, but they don't stay blocked. That's why they come forward. They stop the play for a short gain. They're referred to as jellyfish. You ever try to hit a jellyfish? They move and they kind of squirm around. I haven't hit a jellyfish. That's what I hear.
I try to stay away from jellyfish. 2nd and 9 now. They split Clark and Monk to the top. And here's Irvins on the running play. They spread the defense, and Ricky Irvins gets a hole and fires down to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 7 yards where Tim Green, the linebacker, is there.
Now, when you draw a play up, a coach draws a play up on the chalkboard, he says, okay, I want you to go here and then here. Well, Irvins goes here and then 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 here. Watch the moves he makes. You don't diagram these blocks up. That's him trying to make something happen. Bostic working on Solomon, holding the heck out of him, pulling on his jersey so he can't make the tackle.
Ricky Irvins, who said, if I break the line, I could get maybe a yard, sometimes 20, or maybe go all the way for a touchdown. You never know. 3rd down and 2 now at the 16.
Showing blitz. Here they come.
And the pass going deep on the fade, and Gary Clark has it for the touchdown. He beat Bruce Pickens. Gary Clark, 16 yards.
Reed, Solomon blitzing. That pump fake, that was the key. Because you saw a major league bite by the 2nd-year corner, Pickens, 39. Watch here. Here comes the pump. Pickens sits. He bites. And, 6. Got it.
Extra point is good. And Gary Clark with his 2nd touchdown reception of this young season. And with 4:47 remaining in the first half, it's now 21-7 Washington. And the other fellow went to Georgetown right here in Washington. Huh?
Yeah, you know, Paul Tagliabue, the commissioner in the NFL, they've got to be kind of happy. The trial's over in Minnesota. Decision was made. You know, they were awarded $1.6 million, the players in that suit, and $1.6 million won't pay half the legal fees the two sides are going to spend on it.
You know, George Will's got to get back in this game. I don't like him yawning like this. It's still the first half.
Well, he's a baseball guy, Dick.
Here's the kickoff. Deion Sanders is back, and he will not run it out. Falcons will begin from the 20-yard line. Sanders has already returned a kickoff 100 yards, and that is accounted for the lone Falcons touchdown. Gary Clark accounted for the last Redskin touchdown, and there's the scoring drive. Used up 3.5 minutes.
Boy, Pickens didn't play much last year for the Falcons, and that man right there gave him a little schooling on that last play. Don't look into the backfield and watch the quarterback when you got one of the best wide receivers in the NFL you're trying to cover.
Well, the story of the Falcons' days, starting from their own 20-yard line, they haven't gotten much of a break that way. Chris Miller, the quarterback, and the Redskins showing blitz, and here they come, and the quick pass, penalty marker down. Pickens was the intended receiver, and illegal procedure will be the call against Atlanta, presumably.
False start, number 75 before the snap, 5 yards, first down.
Chris Hinton.
Watch Pickens right here sit down and bite on the pump fake between Rippon and Clark. Watch this. He's looking at the receiver. The receiver sneaks a peek. He sits down. Yeah, right.
By the way, the Falcons center, Roman Fortin, who's been in there ever since Jamie Dukes went out early with an injury. First down and 15 from the 15. And stop for a loss is Steve Broussard. And a big play by Tim Johnson. A loss of 4 yards on the play. Atlanta just can't get out of their own way in this first half.
And things here at RFK for an opposing team can snowball. Here's Johnson. Watch him come through. Uncontested. That's got to be a communication problem right there. Roman Fortin did not. He put a hand on him and then walked away from him. When you got a guy 6'3", 290, you're supposed to slow him up. A hand is not going to slow him up.
4 minutes remaining in the first half. Falcons started from their 20. They're back to their 11-yard line. Here they come again. In on Miller, and Miller has Haynes wide open. Michael Haynes outraces Darrell Green and will score another touchdown. Darrell Green, the fastest man for many years, and Haynes looked like he might be caught, but Darrell Green couldn't quite get to him. No flags down, an 89-yard touchdown play.
Okay, you've got one guy runs a 4.21. One guy runs a 4.22. All it takes is a stumble. Watch the recovery. How fast is Darrell Green? The ball's thrown a little short. He's giving up 7 yards. And he almost catches him. But Haynes has got world-class speed of his own. He won't let him do it.
Third touchdown reception of the year for Haynes. He caught 2 last week against the Jets, and all of a sudden, with all of their problems with field position, the Falcons are back in the game.
That's the lightning in a bottle you've got here. This is just a team that can strike from anywhere.
Norm Johnson. And it's 21-14 as Johnson's kick is good. Michael Haynes. You won't see 2 faster men in the open field in the league.
Okay, Darrell Green, you're the defending champion. You're going to have to give Michael Haynes, the challenger, a little bit of a head start. Not much. We're going to make you give him a head start, so you got to stumble a little bit. So stumble, good. Now go, guys, get it. The only thing you wonder at the very end there is why doesn't Darrell Green at least dive out and try to catch a heel or catch a leg? But he's the all-pro. He's the one that's played cornerback. He's the one that knows how, so maybe I should just shut up.
He conceded it at the end. That's the longest pass play of Michael Haynes' career. And the Falcons today have scored on 2 spectacular plays. A 100-yard kickoff return by Deion Sanders and the 89-yard touchdown to Michael Haynes from Chris Miller. And that will make up for a lot of field position difference in the game. Plays like that.
It really will. Field position doesn't really matter when you got the ability to strike. And the team speed of the Atlanta Falcons, now that they've added a Tony Jones, has been dramatically increased with Haynes and Jones. And don't forget the second-year player out of Colorado, Michael Pritchard.
Mark Rippon getting set to go back to work. 3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the half as Johnson kicks off deep. And it's Desmond Howard running it out from the end zone. And Howard is tackled at about the 15-yard line.
Well, you got a lineman in the booth, so you know you're going to see some protection. Watch Houston Hoover and watch Govea here blitzing. Govea comes, and Hoover knows it and just gets enough. Look at him step in. Now he gets Govea, and that buys Chris Miller the time. Great job. They're backed up, backed into the end zone. They saw the blitz coming, and they made the Skins pay big.
Well, for one of the rare instances, the Redskins will be starting from inside their own territory. The ball is on the 14-yard line. Ernest Biner checks back in at running back. The worst starting position for the Skins in this half. And it's Biner who's knocked back to the 14-yard line. Forward progress may give him a yard, and the tackle made by Solomon and Ken Tippett.
Jesse Solomon lit Biner up. Looked like there was a big hole there in the middle. Biner makes the cut, goes screaming into the middle of the defense, and suddenly comes back out on his back the other way.
Three minutes remaining in the first half. The Redskins, 2nd down and 8, leading by only 1 touchdown now. There is Biner. He gets the immediate hole that closes up in a hurry. And it's Tim Green who makes the tackle at the 21-yard line, a pickup of 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Wow, 20-0 now. Dallas over the Giants. The way that young defense of Dave Wannstedt's down there in Dallas is playing, you don't want to spot him.
Detroit giving the Vikings a big test. Tampa Bay trying to make it 2-0. Third down and 3 for Mark Rippon and the Redskins. This may be the last play before the 2-minute warning. And Rippon has Biner across the middle. That'll be a first down for the Redskins. He was hit immediately. Gain of 6 yards with Bobby Butler making the tackle. And Butler was also shaken up, but the 2-minute warning with 1:59. 2-minute warning here, and we'll be back with Butler still shaken up. Deion Sanders played is shaken up, but he was moving his legs, and that's good news for Butler.
That's Falcons trainer Jerry Ray attending to Butler. What happens when a little cornerback at 175 gives up 45 pounds to a running back? Butler had the body lean. Biner had the body lean and everything moving forward into Butler just as he turned around.
While Butler is 10-2 on the field, we want to remind you that coming up at halftime, the Dockers halftime report. Greg and Terry will bring you up to date on scores and highlights, and then the U.S. Open report. It'll be Sampras and Edberg in the men's singles coming up later from Flushing Meadow. That's all coming up at halftime.
And I've had this happen to me quite a few times when I was playing in my career. Right now, Bobby Butler looks to be sort of in the land of Oz. He's somewhere in between RFK and Atlanta at about 35,000 feet. He's up, he's walking around, but I can tell you one thing, there's a lot of fuzziness in between the ears for Bobby.
He's been a long-time warrior in the secondary for the Atlanta Falcons. Played under many coaches. While the Falcons struggled, finally got a taste of the playoffs last year, and he has hung in there, you know, with a lot of personnel and coaching changes through the years.
Well, he's been a real plus for Jerry Glanville, the basic coach on the field type, with young guys like Pickens and Sanders and a cornerback like McKyer. Butler has been very much a steadying force in Atlanta.
So we've had our 2-minute warning. 1:59 officially left. There's the timeout story. First down for the Redskins on their 27.
Got to be alert for the big play if you're the Atlanta defense. Don't go to sleep.
Rippin's pass is tipped. I think Darian Connor got a hand on it. It was intended for Ricky Sanders. And that'll bring up second down. They have changed, by the way, the official yardage on Deion Sanders' kickoff return from 100 to 99 yards. I think he'll take it. It's still pretty impressive, although 100 was pretty great.
But he's already got one from 100. He didn't need another one. So he wanted 101 or 99 for the portfolio.
Second down and 10 on the 27. Rippon, and he's got Ricky Sanders, who makes the catch at midfield. He gets up, but he was down at midfield after a gain of 23 yards. And the 2-minute drill in progress for the Redskins right now. They still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
Redskins right now are not thinking field goal. The Redskins are thinking about putting another 6 points in that end zone. There's plenty of time, plenty of timeouts.
Rippon's pass. Gary Clark has it inside the 40-yard line. That'll be good enough for yet another Redskin first down, a gain of 12. McKyer covering.
The Falcons are playing very, very soft. Watch how much pad and cushion McKyer's giving Gary Clark. What are you trying to do? You trying to prevent a field goal? You've got almost a little over a minute left. The Skins are too potent to let them keep marching the ball down the field. They'll stick it in the end zone on you in 4 plays.
Now, you try to prevent a field goal, you'll give up a touchdown, and time called as Mike Gann, who is also, like Scott Case, playing with a broken thumb and his right arm in a cast, is shaken up. And the Falcons, using a timeout, now have 1 left. So injuries to several Falcons today as if they haven't had enough all year.
Well, the trainers are indicating there in the calf area they're working on cramps. Mike Gann's having a little problem with his calf cramping. But, you know, if you're Joe Gibbs and Rod Dowhauer from the Redskins and you're sitting here looking at this game right now, you want to keep doing exactly what you're doing now. They're giving you the room. They're giving you the cushion. Keep moving the ball relentlessly down the field. Don't get greedy. If they get aggressive on defense, it'll give you plenty of time to get a little greed in there.
What about a blitz? You think this may be a good time for one for Atlanta?
I think this is a good time for Atlanta to play a little bit more aggressively on the corners, but a very bad time to blitz a Mark Rippon. Mark Rippon might be a little rusty after a layoff, but he isn't that rusty.
That's why I asked. Injuries today. Gann walks off on his own power, so it was a cramp. Bobby Butler suffered a concussion, and Jamie Dukes went out earlier with a rib injury. The Atlanta defense, of course, they lost Rick Bryan, their defensive end, and John Rady, one of their linebackers for the season. Brian Jordan in the secondary, playing baseball now with the Cardinals. Tracy, so they're depleted. First down on the 38-yard line of Atlanta.
They're all up. They're showing their nickel package, and they're giving them a soft corner.
And there comes the fade. Deep pass, and it was intended for Art Monk. And Deion Sanders was covering him down the left sideline. And the clock stops with 1:04 remaining and second down coming up.
Well, if you want to go after a defensive back with a receiver and get him one-on-one, I don't think you want to go after that defensive back one-on-one. I don't care if he has had, you know, those aren't Falcons gloves. I think the gloves he's wearing are probably Braves gloves. He colored black. Great job one-on-one. This guy is still the best man coverage guy in the league.
Second down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Redskins still have all of their timeouts remaining. There's pressure on Rippon. He gets hit. And it was Monk again. No, Biner, the intended receiver. It was Ken Tippins who came in untouched and very nearly got to Rippon in time.
And it was a good call by Jerry Glanville in the defense. Here's a late blitz by Tippins coming out from his middle linebacker position. He reads blitz. He sees the backs blocking. Comes in late. This does not disturb a quarterback, but it does go into the memory bank. He does not forget those little hits and chips.
Well, the Redskins are 7 for 8 on third down conversions, and this will be a 3rd and 10. So this is a big play for the Redskins if they want to add any more points. And here comes the blitz on Rippon. He's being chased by Tippins, and his pass is overthrown. He was going for Gary Clark, and he was defended by Tim McKyer. So the Falcons got a lot aggressive in those last 2 downs, and 4th down is coming up.
He threw it in the general direction of Gary Clark. He was going for one of the innumerable people on the sidelines here at RFK. I mean, you could populate a small town with a number of people that hang on the sidelines here.
Well, Kelly Gertburn will kick, but the story is the snapper, Matt Elliott, the rookie from Michigan, and the last man drafted. That was on the 12th round, so a rookie will be snapping to Goodburn. They thought Guy Bingham, the veteran, would do it, but and Goodburn trying to lay it up short of the goal line, but the Redskins can't down it. They had a couple of guys there, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Big mistake by the special teams right there. They should have caught that ball. There is no rule in the rule book that says you can't catch a punt if you're the punt team. They let that land. Major mistake. They'd have had Atlanta pinned back on the 2-yard line and would have virtually guaranteed running plays coming out of the 2. Now Atlanta's in the 20. They will throw.
Randy, I want to clarify something. Matt Elliott came in, and he's snapping for point after and field goal, but he moved to guard. And Guy Bingham, the 10-year veteran or 13-year veteran from the Eagles picked up this week, was the long snapper on the punt.
Until you worked with an offensive lineman, you never noticed those grunts in the middle, did you?
I appreciate you guys more than ever now. 1st and 10 on the 20. And the handoff to Broussard. Runs into his own man and still going. Broussard ran into Chris Hinton. Wilbur Marshall then made the tackle as the clock continues to run, a gain of 7 yards.
So far here in the first half, Chris Hinton's jumped off sides twice, and he's now on the defensive tackle chart.
Tell you what, though, we have got to go back to how the Falcons did hold the Redskins when it looked like that they inexorably were headed downfield on the last series.
They mixed it up well. They stayed in a very aggressive defense, and I was wrong. They did blitz them, and they did go after him, and it was effective on Rippon.
Hey, offensive linemen can be wrong, too, once in a while.
Rarely in the game.
And that is the end of the first half here at RFK Stadium with the score. The Washington Redskins 21 and the Atlanta Falcons 14. And Desmond Howard is back deep along with Brian Mitchell for the Redskins. And the kick is headed for Howard, a yard in the end zone. Well, we want to welcome the viewers who have been watching the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. You just saw Desmond Howard return the second half kickoff in a game which I'm sure you know now has been filled with spectacular plays. The Washington Redskins lead the Atlanta Falcons 21-14. I'm Dick Stockton. Randy Cross is by my side. Welcome to RFK Stadium, where we have had nothing but fireworks.
Dick, the fans of Major League Baseball fill the stands to see home runs. Well, the fans here in RFK have seen nothing but home runs. Desmond Howard, punt return for a touchdown. Deion Sanders, 99 yards, big touchdown. Two fastest guys in the league chasing each other. Haynes and Green. Haynes won that one for 6 points.
So Deion Sanders, who did not start the game but has figured mightily in it, is in the secondary for the Falcons as the Redskins get set to go here. Redskins have led all the way. They were up 14-0 at one point, and then the Falcons came back to narrow to 14-7. Rippon hit Clark with a touchdown to give him that 2-touchdown lead again before Haynes beat Darrell Green in a foot race, and that's where we are as the Skins start 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Ernest Biner is the setback. Middleton is in there at tight end, and Biner gets the call on 1st down, and he picks up about 3 yards.
Pretty predictable what Joe Gibbs is going to want to do here. This game is close. He's seen some big plays. He wants to take some time off the clock. He wants to run the ball, stay patient, and move the ball down the field. You can't score those big plays. You can't have all that great action out of the Atlanta Falcons if they don't have the ball.
That's the way he started the game, by being conservative, and it paid off. They've had a big edge, the Redskins, in field position, but their lead is only 7 points. 2nd down and 5 coming up from the 38. Hossey is in there now with Ricky Sanders as the other wide receiver. And here comes the blitz and the handoff to Biner. You break it, you could go all the way, but Darian Connor had him from behind, and a pickup of 3 yards that time will bring up 3rd and short.
And middle linebacker Jesse Solomon, 54, picks up kind of where he left off in the first half. Made quite a few tackles. He's substituting for Jesse Tuckle, who's out of the game with meningitis, and he's done a great job. He's had a little bit of a problem, it would seem, calling the plays and keeping things organized, but the guys in the middle of the defense have really picked up the slack.
Tuggle, of course, not playing today, although he'll be all right. He should get out of the hospital early in the week. 3rd down and 2 on the 41-yard line. First series of the second half, and Rippon's pass wants to go to Art Monk, and Monk made a spectacular catch with Bruce Pickens on his back. Good enough for the 1st down at the 45-yard line.
Art Monk is a living Hall of Fame highlight film at times. He does some things you just can't believe. This is one of them. Hits it up, knocks it down, catches it on the 2nd-year man Pickens out of Nebraska. But it's a nice throw, isn't a great throw. What makes it a good throw and makes it a great throw is what Art Monk can do with it once he gets his hands on it.
Earlier today, he extended his consecutive game catch to 134 games, 3rd all-time behind Steve Largent, number 1, and Ozzie Newsome, number 2. 1st down at the 45-yard line of Washington, and a play fake. Rippon has nowhere to go with it and smartly slides down shy of midfield, and the Falcons did a terrific job of blanketing the Redskin receivers in a gain of 2 yards.
Well, if you have plan A to throw to Gary Clark and plan B to dump it off to Monk and plan C is dump it off on the other side to Biner, You just saw Plan Z. The last possible thing Joe Gibbs wants is that guy out in the open field running around.
When was the last time you saw Mark Rippon unable to find a target with those core receivers?
Good job right now by the defensive backs of Atlanta. They've come out here in this second half, and they're playing a lot tighter on the receivers. They were well off the ball in the first half.
Second down and 8. There's Biner, off right tackle, and he can't shed Scott Case, and he's close to the first down nonetheless. A gain of 8 yards, depending where they spot the ball. Good blocking up front on the right side of the offensive line, and Case, who is playing with a broken wrist in a cast, is shaken up. There is the right wrist with a pin in it. He's a tough one, though.
One of the things these Redskins do is run great inside the guards. And here's the counter tray coming right. No support. See the inside open up? Case gets there a little late. And that's one thing this Falcon defense does. It puts a lot of pressure and stress on their safeties. They make a lot of tackles. And look, right there, Case is on the ground, and the power and force of that tackle put a little pressure on his ribs.
We'll take a break.
Hey, you think you...
Stadium, Scott Case getting his jersey off on the sideline, and they're going to miss him because a rookie, Terry Ray, will take his place, a 6th-round draft choice out of Oklahoma.
And the antennas on the sideline of the Redskins just lit up. You get a rookie in there, a guy that hasn't played hardly at all. You got to find some way, somehow, an opportunity to take advantage of that.
1st and 10 Redskins on the Atlanta 45-yard line, leading 21-14. Rippon goes to the opposite side and completes the pass to Ricky Sanders. And another first down for the Redskins. There's a penalty marker down as well. The pickup was 15 with Tim McKyer defending. Bob McElwee is our referee today.
5-yard face mask foul, 22 defense. Enforced on the end of the play.
Grabbed the mask. Nothing blatant, though, so that's why it was only 5 yards.
Well, Tim McKyer says, I wish we could get physical, get on him and bump him. He's playing very soft here, has to support, respecting the speed of Sanders. And that's incidental. I mean, that is just grabbing for jersey and getting face mask. That's why it's only 5 yards.
Tim McKyer, who does the talking. Deion Sanders does the playing. It's a pretty good combination. It worked for the Falcons last year. McKyer can also play. Biner gets by a couple. And again, good blocking up front by the Redskins against a lighter defensive unit by the Falcons. And Terry Ray, the rookie, makes the stop at the 15-yard line, and another first down for the Redskins.
What's been happening earlier on the inside runs in the first half, the linebackers were making the plays. Michael Reed right here. Watch him fill. He does not make the play. Cannot wrap Biner up. He's going to get a clean shot. He doesn't get his arms around him. And Biner's free in the defensive backfield one-on-one against the rookie Ray, number 30.
Biner has gained 61 yards. That's 5 more than he gained in the opener against Dallas. Biner on first down. And Biner scored a touchdown earlier as a receiver for the first touchdown for the Skins. He got 4 yards on that play with Deion Sanders on the stop.
You talk about defensive backs respecting receiver speed. There was an example of Biner respecting Deion Sanders' speed, because Deion Sanders was out there in his face. Biner knew there wasn't a chance in the world he was going to bounce it and get around him, so he had to cut back in towards all the help Deion wants to have help him.
Look at the Dallas score, 34-0. Defensive game in New Orleans as we anticipated. Meanwhile, second down and 7. On the 12-yard line, 2 tight ends for the Redskins. Rippon has a lot of time, and his pass is overthrown. He was going to Terry Orr, the H-back, and he was well covered in the corner of the end zone.
Well, he had 3 different people blitzing him on that play and put the pressure grab. They picked it up real good, but the coverage excellent in the backfield, and Rippon just threw that away. He had no intention of getting that near the receiver.
Randy, the Redskins have run 50 plays, and 33 of them have been in Atlanta territory, yet they only have a 7-point lead right now, although with 3rd and 7 coming up, they're primed for at least a 3-pointer, and the 10th play upcoming in this drive.
Well, Atlanta showed a lot of poise on offense, not turning the ball over when they're backed up, and they've had great special teams play.
Ron Warren lines up on the left side of the line. Third down, and Rippon is sacked for the first time today. And it was Mo Gardner, the nose tackle, and the Falcons picked a big time to get their first sack of the ball game and knocks Rippon back to about the 25, a loss of 12.
This is what you refer to as a major jellyfish. Gardner in the middle. They hit him once, they hit him twice, they hit him 3 times. They never find the middle of him. He kind of squirms and flops off him and ends up in Rippon's face.
So now Chip Lohmiller will come in and attempt a 41-yard field goal. He missed from 39 yards earlier in the first quarter. Jeff Rutledge is the holder, and this kick is long enough, and this kick is good enough. So the Redskins come away with some points. And with 8:52 remaining in the third quarter, it's now 24-14.
Yo, guys, this is Yogi. You can't stop.
Drive of the second half to stretch their lead to 10 points. And now Chip Lohmiller will be kicking, and all eyes will be on number 21 back deep. Deion Sanders returned to kickoff 99 yards for a touchdown earlier in the game. Reported to the Falcons on Thursday and has been spectacular today. And he'll get another shot here from the 1-yard line. Not this time. Johnny Thomas with a big special teams play. The return was 16 yards, and the Falcons will start from the 16. They have had miserable field position all day, Randy.
And it's been reflected by the ability of the Falcons and what they could call on first down. First down, these guys have been running the ball almost the entire game so far. They have not been able to really open their playbook. So far, the last 10 chapters are closed.
Pages are blank. Average yards on first down gives you a graphic idea. Falcons in the minus. Chris Miller with a quick pass out to Pritchard. And Mike Pritchard with some nifty work on his own brings it way out. And a gain that time of 22 yards. Brad Edwards, the free safety on the tackle, and a lot of breathing room now for Chris Miller and company and a first down.
And it's something the defense of the Redskins have to be aware of, is they're dealing with not only the fastest, but the deepest group of wide receivers in the NFL. You want to talk about Haynes and Rison and whatnot, they forget about the Pritchards and the Phillips and the Tony Joneses, and only a guy like Drew Hill is one of the greatest receivers ever.
They got a lot of those names you just mentioned split now. First and 10 on the 37. This has been a luxury for Chris Miller, and the pass in and out of the hands of Michael Haynes. He was hit hard by 2 Redskins. Giants losing to Dallas. And right now, for an update on that game, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Gregory?
All right, Dick, losing big, but at least they get on the board in the third quarter on Rodney Hampton's 5-yard touchdown run. Just under 9 minutes to play in the third. It's 34-7 Dallas, Dick.
Now, they've been outscored, the Giants, in their 2 games so far, 65-21. What happened to that defense? Huh?
Well, John Madden talked about it in NFL Today. That defense is suspect. People talk about the quarterback.
Second down and 10 on the 37-yard line. And here is the running back, Keith Jones. He picks up 7 yards, and the Falcons not enjoyed good field position today, but Chris Miller, one of the more accurate passers in the NFL. Jones will come out, and Steve Broussard, who had been kind of in the doghouse, Jerry Glanville, plus an injured shoulder, but he's playing considerably today.
You know, we talked about the Redskins running the ball and play action, and you can't fall asleep. Well, these little short dumps and passes are Atlanta's version of the dimps and dinks. They're trying to get them distracted and trying to open up something for that knockout punch.
Falcons are 0 for 4 on third down conversions. They need 3 yards. Miller has time, and the pass is incomplete. Michael Haynes was the intended receiver, and his old friend Darrell Green was right with him. And that will bring up fourth down, and Atlanta will kick, as Haynes is a little slow getting up.
Good play by Darryl Green. That was a timing pattern, pure and simple. Miller wanted to drop that ball in there low, so it was the only place where only Haynes could get it. We'll take a look here, getting good protection. They're coming with a blitz. Goes it right through Wilbur Marshall's arms. There it is, low and a little bit outside.
Haynes is still injured on the field. The Falcons have had a multitude of injuries today, beginning with Jamie Dukes, their center, who went out early. And then Bobby Butler had a concussion. And then lately, Scott Case with a pulled chest muscle, and Case will not be back. And so they really have to go deep into the Falcons defense. And keep in mind, they started the game without Jesse Tuggle, who was a key operative for them in linebacker.
And they're feeling around in that right shoulder area. It's right where Haynes landed when Green landed on top of him. But if there is one position Atlanta can afford to lose a guy, it's at their wide receiver spot.
Haynes walks off. He caught a touchdown pass today. That gives him 3 already this year. Scott Fulhaig will be kicking. He has punted effectively thus far from deep in his own territory, and back deep, Brian Mitchell for the Redskins.
This is a situation you almost expect them to kick away from the returner. Get it out of bounds, just get it away from the guy, because that's when things are happening.
This kick, not that high, and Mitchell's going to have to let it bounce. Takes an Atlanta roll. Mitchell fields it, and he is stopped dead in his tracks at the 15-yard line. So good hustle. Elbert Shelley, who downed a kick on the 2 last week against the Jets, was right there again. Redskins on first down. Ernest Biner powers his way out close to the 20-yard line. Started from the 15. Falcons, keep in mind, have never won here at RFK Stadium. They have lost all 8 previous games. And they're trying to break that string, trailing by 10 points here.
You know, dog sledders are called mushers. The middle of this Redskin line, they're mushers. They just sort of mush. Look at that. Nothing spectacular, nothing really highlight filmish. It's just everybody that was on the 15 is now back on the 20.
We've had enough highlight film stuff already. Some spectacular plays. Second down and 5 on the 20-yard line. Middleton lines up on the left side. 2 tight ends for the Redskins.
Comes the blitz.
And the give is to Biner. If you break the blitz, you can be in good shape. If you don't, you end up with something like that. And a 1-yard pickup by Biner. Let's credit Reed with the stop.
It's one of those, what's wrong with this picture? I want to run in here. Well, you've only got 5 guys right in between the guards practically. The chances of popping something aren't real good because you got your big bodies and their little bodies, and you're giving it to one of your little bodies and say, here, run the ball in there, and hopefully you'll make something.
I guess the big bodies always win there.
Well, it's kind of like good pitching and good hitting, Dick.
You got it. I'll get you converted yet. 3rd and 4 on the 21-yard line. And Rippon fires to Gary Clark. He's got the first down just beyond the 30-yard line. Tim McKyer on the tackle. Gain of 11.
We're seeing more of the soft, cushiony corners. See, Pickens has got him underneath. McKyer's got him back. And he just settles down. It's a good job not only by the quarterback, Mark Rippon, but also of Gary Clark of reading the defenses that he's seeing and sitting down in the hole in the zone.
73 yards for Gary Clark. He caught 8 passes for 97 last week in the losing cause against Dallas. Mark Rippon finds Art Monk. And McKyer gets there a little too late. And a gain of 16 yards to Art Monk, who is getting closer to Steve Largent's all-time record. He needed 17 receptions to pass Largent as the all-time leading receiver coming into this game.
Jerry Glanville told us yesterday, if we think we can do something that you're not handling, we're going to keep doing it and doing it until you prove to us you can. Atlanta again blitzed Mark Rippon. That time, Rippon got it off. I'd be very careful if I was Atlanta right now. Don't try that another time or two too soon.
On the 47-yard line of the Redskins, first down with just under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Rippon with a quick release, and the pass is held on to. That time it was Monk again. 7 yards for Art Monk. Bruce Pickens making the stop. Monk has caught 6 catches for 44 yards. So he needs 11 to pass Largent. Look at that 19-2 Washington edge in first down.
And that's what the Washington's done today. It hasn't been spectacular. They've been dipping and chipping and just getting little bits at a time, getting their first downs and controlling the clock. Big Joe Jacoby standing on the sideline must have re-injured that right knee.
Second down, and the give is to Biner. And Biner gets the first down. Good hard running by Ernest Biner today. Sanders and Connor make the tackle and a pickup of 6 more.
I'm beginning to sense a little cumulative trauma on the part of the Atlanta Falcons defense. I think they're starting to be worn down. Physically, there's just not that snap and that spark. Maybe they're waiting for a second win, but if they wait much longer, this offensive line for the Redskins will keep pounding them and pounding them.
Ed Simmons, by the way, had gone in for Jacoby at right tackle. Redskins with another first down in Atlanta territory. Biner, the workhorse today, knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line, but he picks up good yardage again, 9, with McKyer making the stop. So Ernest Biner has gained 85 yards on 20 carries. No contest rushing-wise today.
I tell you what, though, first downs are in their favor. Rushing yards are in their favor. Time of possession is in their favor, but they're only up by 7 points. 10 points, I'm sorry. 10.
Give them 3 more.
Oh, what the heck.
Second down and 1 on the 31. Ricky Irvins has given Ernest Biner a breather, and a well-deserved one. And they go to Irvins. And he should have another first down. Mike Gann, who was shaken up earlier in the game and now back, makes the tackle. 2-yard gain for Ricky Irvins, who made a splash last year in his rookie season.
See, the Redskins at times was about the closest thing as you're going to get to the old Oklahoma wishbone offense. When they smell blood and they smell that they can physically intimidate a team and get after him, that's what Joe Gibbs will do. He'll just smash it at them and hope they start sucking up, and then it's deep with a wide receiver.
First down on the 29 of the Falcons. And here is Irvins with blockers in front of him. And Ricky Irvins with a hard charge gets inside the 25-yard line, a gain of 6. Torrey Epps with help from Darian Connor make the tackle, and this is a patented ball control drive by the Redskins, which they used considerably last year when they had leads going into the second half.
They're softening them up front, and what the Falcons are doing is they're being blown back and then recovering. If after they recover they don't make the tackle, that's when you see these big running plays popping loose.
10th play of the drive coming up. They've used already more than 6 minutes. They had another 6-minute drive and could only get 3 out of it earlier in the second half. Biner doesn't get much there, and that'll be 3rd down and short coming up, and Michael Reed broke through that time. That could be the last play of the 3rd quarter. But the Redskins have really dominated the time of possession in this game, but as you said, leading by 10 points, it's not out of the woods yet.
And the idea here is a touchdown. A field goal keeps Atlanta right in it.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at RFK Stadium with the score. The Redskins 24 and the Falcons 14. We are, but we're going to duck down below the roof so you do see who we are.
The talking mustache, my goodness. You know, Dick, I'm really struck here in this game. The Redskins are executing excellently, offensively and defensively. It's just the intensity seems to be a little off, the concentration.
Well, you know, the Redskins had a lot of questions coming into this game. Now, special teams could still be a problem. That was a problem in the first game. But they went back to basics in this game, and they're not, as we said, out of the woods yet, but they're doing a lot of the things they do well. But they're playing a team that really is a good team to play. I know that Joe Gibbs said they could be tough for us this week, but they're light defensively.
And I tell you, if Joe Gibbs is a boxer in this situation, he's got a team softened up, and the softening is with that jab, with that run. He's been jabbing them and jabbing them. I kind of smell a rat when they get in this situation. They basically want to throw to these wide receivers, and this is a perfect situation. They're thinking run. You might play action, but you get into the end zone with a long one.
Let's see how Jerry Glanville plays it. 3rd down and 3 on the 22-yard line as we start the 4th quarter. Redskins lead 24-14. They're going to throw, and Rippon's pass is incomplete. It was right in Gary Clark's hands. He had it but could not hold on, and you're right, they would have had a touch or at least the ball at the 5.
They're thinking run, and Clark's working. Look at the cushion. Look how much room he's got. How can you not complete this? The ball's there. He gets a face full of Wilson and can't come down with the ball. Receivers are taught to catch with their hands. Get their hands up and in front and catch the ball there, not with that blank spot in your face mask.
Chip Lohmiller will try from 39 yards. He missed from 39, made it from 41, and this kick is good. No, it's no good. It's off to the right. Pardon me. And Lohmiller has missed 2 out of 3 kicks, and again, the Redskins hold the ball and come up with nothing. Only 19 plays, the Redskins for 60, and you know that the Falcon defense has to be getting tired, but the Redskins are just not taking the advantage of all the opportunities that they've had today.
Jerry Glanville's got to be thinking, keep my offense on the field. With that much of a play differential, 60-19, if they go 3 and punt, Washington gets the ball and goes right down again and scores.
That's starting position for the Falcons today, their own 23. Chris Miller fires, and it's caught by George Thomas, and Thomas has a first down. Thomas is into the game for the injured Michael Haynes, who has a sprained right shoulder and will not be back. That was an 18-yard pickup.
Does that tell you a little bit of something about who is really controlling this ball game from the standpoint of on the ground and time of possession? I mean, the Skins have taken the ball, gone away, and hid. They haven't done anything with it to speak of when they've had some great opportunities, but they've hid with it.
And a first down on the 41 for the Falcons in the opening minute of this 4th quarter. And Miller fires, and that pass is caught. That time it was to Tony Jones, one of the Houston Plan B pickups, and a gain of 13 yards. Consider, Randy, that the Redskins had the ball for 6 minutes and 8 seconds to start the 3rd quarter, got a field goal out of it, and then 7 minutes of possession and got nothing.
That's what Rod Dowhauer, the offensive coordinator, told us. Time of possession is very misleading. If you're not scoring touchdowns, time of possession actually can work against you because it's a real momentum builder when they're rejected.
First down at the 47 of Washington. One of the rare times the Falcons have been in Skins territory. And here's Broussard on the draw play, and Steve Broussard up the middle picks up 4 yards where Tim Johnson makes the tackle.
That was a case right there of the Redskins starting to come up, showing a little bit of a blitz look. All the defensive linemen have got their tails way up in the air, and they're going after the quarterback, and Miller and Glanville are saying, no, wait a minute, we still know how to run the ball. Don't go too crazy rushing my quarterback.
Well, the red gun is supposed to be a good offense for the running game.
And there's June Jones, the offensive coordinator for Glanville, standing next to him, and he's the guy, if he had his druthers, you pass 90% of the time and run 10 to keep him on.
2nd down and 6. Keith Jones is in at running back. Jumpy Geathers at defensive tackle. And Miller is going to go deep for Thomas, and Thomas is covered downfield by Alvoid Mays. And right now for an update, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
All right, Dick, at the Meadowlands, a giant drive is capped by this Phil Simms to Jared Bunch. 1-yard touchdown pass. The extra point makes it 34-14 Dallas. About a half minute to play in the 3rd quarter, Dick.
The Giants coming back somewhat. Right here at RFK Stadium. Crowd urging on the Redskin defense. Big 3rd down and 6 coming up. Atlanta yet to convert a 3rd down play today. Here comes the blitz, and here is Broussard trying to outrace Charles Mann, and he won't do it. He is out of bounds at the 41-yard line, a gain of only 2 yards. They needed 6. And the Falcons will have to kick it away, but let's see. Reisen is coming on, and they may go for it. Apparently they will, Randy.
This is a gamble, but if they don't get it, it's a standard field position for the Skins so far today. People talk about the great young athletes coming into the league, the big linebackers. Look at the job Charles Mann does running Broussard down and keeping him from getting the corner.
Here's 4th and 4.
Andre Rison.
And let's see whether the Falcons threw the Redskins off. If they did, it'll be a first down.
Chris Hinton, the right tackle, clearly jumped before the ball was snapped.
Now there are a couple of the athletes upset in the middle of that pack. Wilbur Marshall and Chris Hinton exchanging some pleasantries. It is
right tackle before the
You're right.
5 yards.
Well, you've heard of pick sixes in racing. Here's the pick 3 by Hinton. 3 offsides. Mann kind of gives him a little wiggle and a tweak, and Hinton bites and goes with it. He's not happy, but that's just sort of an emotional reaction he doesn't need to do. He's already blown one opportunity. Don't blow another.
So Scott Fulhaig will have to kick it away. Hinton has committed several penalties today on the line. Brian Mitchell goes back deep for the Redskins. So the Falcons trying to go for the first down yardage on 4th and 4, and it doesn't come to be. Good high kick gives coverage a chance, and a fair catch called for by Mitchell. He fumbles, and the Falcons have it, I believe. And Atlanta has recovered a fumble by Brian Mitchell on the 22-yard line of Washington.
And we're going to see something here. Desmond Howard, the rookie, was back, got right into Mitchell's face. I think he distracted him and took his eyes off the ball a little bit. And they didn't cause the fumble because Mitchell did that all by himself. But here's Mitchell. Look here on the left. You won't quite see it, but Desmond Howard got right in his general area, and it looked like Mitchell looked up. One more time. Here's Fulhaig. A high ball that was going to be caught, inside the 20. There's Howard. They both look up. He gets out of the way.
Howard didn't know where he was. And a first down on the 22-yard line. Ken Tippins recovered the fumble. A big break for the Falcons. Trailing by 10 points. Keith Jones gets nothing off of left tackle. And the Redskins defense rising up in a gain of only 1 and making the tackle, Tim Johnson and Fred Stokes, the right side of the line.
We've been talking about the penetration, or not the penetration, the pounding of the offensive line for the Redskins and what they're doing to the defense of the Falcons. Right there was a great example of the Redskins front 7 just coming up and stuffing a play.
Last year, the Falcons turned it over 12 times in 2 games against the Skins. They have not turned it over. Washington has coughed it up twice today. Interception and a fumble. 2nd down and 9 on the 21. Chris Miller finds his receiver, and it's Tony Jones, and he makes the reception out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. A gain of 19 yards. Brad Edwards covering, and the Falcons are poised now to cut the Redskins' advantage.
We talk about the emotional boost that missing that field goal meant. A team in the Falcons that looked like they were down now suddenly has got the spring back, the life back, and they go to the new addition. Last year, Houston Oilers. This year, same offense, different city. And Jones, with that threat of the speed, the defensive backs have to respect it.
Tony Jones and Drew Hill, both Plan B acquisitions. Drew Hill, of course, had played under Jerry Glanville, but not Tony Jones in Houston. And we'll return to RFK Stadium after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Line for the Falcons, and they have Harper LaBelle and Mike Ruther as tight ends. They don't really use tight ends with this offense, but they'll need them down here, Randy.
Well, they say that we don't need Ruther either. Ruther's running off the field.
Keith Jones and Eric Pegram are the 2 running backs.
Well, you've got plenty of Pro Bowl experience on that offensive line. You got to think you're going to be able to get 1.5 yards and pound the ball inside. Pegram can be a power runner down this low.
And Eric Pegram, nothing. Might have lost 1 yard. Fred Stokes was the first to hit him. It's not going to be easy, I suspect, for the Falcons right here, although they'll use 4 plays to get it over.
They'll run at least one more time. This is 4-play territory. They're not kicking a field goal here. They don't need it here. With 10 minutes to go, down by 10 points, they need a touchdown.
2nd and goal, a loss of 1 yard on the play.
Having played on a few finesse offensive lines, I can tell you, getting stuff like that on 1st down, that affects your psyche. It affects your play calling. Look for a pass. Get it in the end zone.
Thomas and Pritchard are split. And Pritchard goes in motion. And here's a play fake. And the pass is incomplete. And Chris Miller will have 2 more chances. Harper LaBelle was the intended receiver, although they had Jones as well, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they were selling that thing left, but the Redskins weren't buying it. And specifically, Kurt Govea, 54, at middle linebacker, saw LaBelle crossing from the left side the whole way. Good play call, just great execution by the Skins.
You think this was the final moments of the game, because in essence it is. If the Falcons don't score a touchdown here, they're not going to win this game. 3rd and goal on the 2-yard line.
Red gun offense.
Or at least have a chance to win. They split 4 wide receivers. And Miller's pass. Did he catch it? No. Out of bounds. Intended for Jones with Darrell Green covering, and now they're down to their 4th down. The Redskins have tightened their defense. Brilliant right here on the first 3 plays.
And they're staying like glue, man to man. Look at this right here. Jones has a chance. Looks like Green gave him a little push.
They're not going to go for the touchdown. They're going to go for the field goal. They're going to take the sure 3, if there is such a thing, and Norm Johnson will try a 19-yard field goal. Normally reliable. Bullhaig, the punter, will hold. But a golden opportunity for the Falcons to get a touchdown goes by the board.
You get a chance to get your hands on the ball down here in a key situation. You have got to catch it.
And a delay of the game call, I believe, will set the Falcons back 5 yards, if that's the initial signal from the officials. Monty Coleman is signaling delay of the game, and they'll go back 5. So this will be a 24-yard attempt by Norm Johnson. Last week Johnson was 2 for 2. .37 remaining in the 4th quarter. And Johnson's kick is good. So the Falcons had 1st and goal on the 1. They had to settle for 3, and they trail the Redskins 24-17. Sanders and Michael Haynes. Look at the yardage of their scores. If you look at total yards and time of possession, you think the Redskins were winning by at least 3 touchdowns, but that's not the case.
That last drive, I really think they should have gone into the end zone for a touchdown. By doing that with the field goal, they are now going to give the opportunity to the Redskins to sort of take the ball and go away. The Atlanta defense is tired. They're beaten up. They've been pounded on. And if you're the Redskins, you're going to take this ball and move it on the ground and eat time off this clock.
And Jerry Glanville's a gambling kind of guy. And normally he'd go in there to get the 7, and that would put pressure on. But now the Falcons will need the touchdown to tie. But now they've got to stop Desmond Howard on the left and Brian Mitchell on the right as Norm Johnson prepares to kick off. And a line drive kickoff headed for the end zone, and Desmond Howard will let it roll out of it. And the Skins will start from their 20-yard line. 24-17 to score here at RFK Stadium, where the Falcons are going to try and do something no Atlanta team has ever done, win against the Redskins here. .29 to go. 9 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton and Randy Cross. There you see that wild second quarter. And there you see one of the wild men today, Deion Sanders, who is in the cornerback position right now for the Falcons. He returned to kickoff 99 yards. But now, as you mentioned, Randy, the Redskins can afford to use up the clock, run the ball, because the Falcons must go to the other way. They have to go all the way. They can't settle for a long field goal to try to tie it up now. They need the touchdown.
And Deion's a guy, a lot of pressure is going to be on him. A lot of man-to-man on the corners here late in the fourth quarter, because Atlanta's got to take chances. They have to make something happen here.
And Deion and Gary Clark are 1-1 man on the bottom part of your picture. First down, meanwhile, and Viner, who's had a terrific day rushing, brings it out to the 24. Now for an NFL Today update. Greg Gumbel has been standing by for this highlight. Greg?
All right, Dick, in New Orleans, Bobby Hebert has just been waiting for the second half to start. He's 7 out of 7, 210 yards, 2 long touchdown passes, including this 72-yarder to Wesley Carroll. And with about 9.5 to play at the Superdome, it's 14-6 the Saints over the Bears, Dick.
Saints trying to go 1-1, and a loss would make the Bears record 1-1. Second down and 6 on the 24-yard line for the Redskins. On the delay, here is Viner. And he dives forward to the 26-yard line. Joe Jacoby, by the way, with a slight sprained left knee, the same injury he suffered against the Cowboys, but he could return if the Skins need him. Ed Simmons has been in his slot. There's Joe. And there's Ed Simmons, who had actually been a starter a couple of years ago on the offensive line.
And one of the things I think people love about the Falcons is they don't quit. What they're doing here is they're hanging. They're going to hang until you give them a shot, and then they're going to take it.
Third down and 4 on the 24-yard line. Winding down to 8 minutes to go. And here comes the blitz on Rippon. He picks it up, and the pass to Gary Clark with McKyer defending, rolls incomplete. And McKyer, who has an interception already in this game, very nearly had a second. And the crowd booing the Redskin offense, and I don't know whether it's solely directed at Rippon, but it could be.
I think what they're booing is the fact that just like Monday night, they saw a wide receiver wide open. Clark is beating Tim McKyer, and Mark Rippon throws a helium balloon up there that comes down, and Clark does a great imitation of a defensive back, preventing an interception.
And Kelly Goodburn will kick, and Tony Smith, who did not play because of a bruised knee, all of a sudden makes his first appearance. The rookie from Southern Mississippi, the #1 draft pick, is back deep. And an end-over-end kick very nearly blocked by the Falcons. And it'll go out of bounds. And good field position for the Atlanta Falcons. And great when you consider what they've had to face today. Their own 37. Just under 8 minutes to go in this one. We'll be back. The ball, and just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Have the ball first down.
And a good reason they've got the ball is for one of the first times in a while that defense taking a blow and getting a drink of water on the sidelines made the Redskins go 3 and out. I really expected the Skins to pound it and get through them. A lot of credit to that Atlanta defense.
And the crowd let the Redskins offense knew how they felt when they came off the field. First down on the 37. Out of the shotgun is Miller, and he dumps it off to George Thomas. And Thomas picks up about 4 yards. And right now, for another update, here's Greg Gumbel in our New York studio. Greg?
Well, Dick, the Giants are beginning to make things a little interesting at the Meadowlands. Phil Simms, 6 yards to Stephen Baker. And with just under 10 minutes to play in the game now, it is a 34-21 Dallas lead in the fourth, Dick.
All right, Greg, thank you very much.
Chris Hinton on that last play on pass protecting against Charles Mann badly jammed a thumb.
Second down and 6 on the Falcon 41. Miller with the handoff to Keith Jones. And he is stopped in his tracks, and a loss of a yard will bring up third down and 7. It was Charles Mann with help from Tim Johnson up front. You saw the touchdown by the Giants to bring them within 13 of the Cowboys. Saints are leading. The Lions ahead of the Vikings, and Tampa Bay rolling over Green Bay in NFC action. 3rd down and 7 now from the 40.
Charles Mann has an advantage. He's got to tackle with a bad hand.
Chris Miller on 3rd down, and his pass to Pritchard is complete into Redskin territory. He found the seams of the zone, and Mike Pritchard, with a gain of 29 yards, will give the Falcons a 1st down of the Redskin 32.
Excellent job of protection there. The Skins are coming after him. There's Pritchard, who is in motion at the top, 35. Just right now, Miller knows he's going to be open, right in between the 2 seams in the defense.
Alvoid Mays ultimately makes the stop against the #1 draft pick last year, Mike Pritchard, out of Colorado, and a 1st down on the Redskins 32. Redskins lead 24-17 with 5:39 remaining in the 4th. Miller in trouble. Gets away briefly, and he makes something out of very little, and a gain of just a couple. He managed to pick up 5 yards before Martin Mayhew grabbed him. Redskins lead the Falcons 24-17. Atlanta has never won in 8 tries here at RFK Stadium. Clock winding down to 5 minutes to go. The Redskins coming off an embarrassing loss to the Cowboys Monday night, trying to even their season, and it's been more of a struggle than maybe they anticipated.
I think what it's been a lack of concentration for the entire time for the Skins. They've controlled the ball, but they haven't had the focus.
2nd and 5. And a play fake. Miller under pressure. Pritchard was his intended receiver. Crowd wants grounding, but Pritchard was there, and a great pass rush by Jumpy Geathers, the nickel rusher, and Charles Mann.
That's the big difference between the Redskins and the Falcons. To get that kind of pressure, the Falcons have to bring linebackers and safeties. The Skins have the 4 horses up front that can get into a quarterback's face.
3rd down and 5 coming up for the Falcons. They're 1 for 8 on 3rd downs today, Atlanta. Miller with a short drop, and the pass is caught by Pritchard. He's inside the 10-yard line, and a big play of 18 yards. Mike Pritchard with 2 big receptions on this series by the Falcons. And Darrell Green is holding his right wrist. That's bad news for Washington.
The key receivers in this Red Gun offense are the slot receivers. And Pritchard lined up in the slot left. Just a little short pattern, let him do his thing from there. You see Green wrapped his leg around the foot, got kicked in the forearm. But now the important thing for the Falcons is keep doing what you've done the last 2 drives. Don't tighten up. Don't get the pucker going, because you've got them down near the end zone here. You know, it's like biting into that lemon. It kind of tastes bad. You got to react. You got to put that ball in the end zone. Keep going your 10 or 12-yard plays. Don't get tense.
You don't want to get that pucker going. You're right.
No, you don't.
No. It'll be 1st and goal at the 9-yard line for the Falcons, who decided not to go for the touchdown. They had a 1st and goal on the 1 the last time they had the ball, and on 4th down settled for 3. But their defense rose to the occasion and stopped the Redskins when the Skins were in position to maybe use up the clock. And now the Falcons, with some nifty passes, are on the 9-yard line with 4:15 remaining.
And if there is a detriment to the Red Gun, the run and shoot, whatever you want to call it, people keep saying it's in this area of the field. We've seen the Falcons get down close before, and they could not get it in. They tried to get aggressive with the run. It didn't work. The defenses, it was covered by the defensive backfield and the linebackers of the Skins. They've got more room here. They can run their normal offense.
A.J. Johnson will be the cornerback to replace Darrell Green. Johnson himself has been hampered with a hamstring pull. Chris Miller, one of the bright young quarterbacks in the NFL, and the Falcons are looking to go 2-0 for the first time under Jerry Glanville. And if they were to knock off the Redskins, of course they need a touchdown to tie. That would be a monumental achievement.
Here's Gerald Green. He's squatted. He's going to go after Pritchard. Dives in at him. I still think it's that right wrist. That arm goes in there, tries to wrap him on the tackle, and it got kicked right in the middle of the forearm, it seemed.
And that's a loss. If it's more than just the rest of this game, if it is just the rest of the game, would really affect the Redskins in a big way.
You got to think June Jones, the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, is going to find out what AJ's made out of right here. He's going to go after that corner, because Darrell Green and Martin Mayhew, the regular corners, have done a great job on the down deep into the territory here.
So it's 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. And Miller to throw, and the pass nearly intercepted by Mayhew. And he came oh so close to picking it off. It was intended for George Thomas, and a risky passing pattern indeed for the Falcons on 1st down.
It seems neither team can catch the ball in this end zone. Getting hit right in the hands. In this case, Mayhew gets hit wonderfully in the hands. He dives. He's ready. He knows it's his play.
We wouldn't call that a good percentage play offensively.
While you're throwing over there, attack the guy that hasn't been in there, that hasn't proved himself. Go after Johnson.
2nd and goal. Miller again, and his pass incomplete. Pritchard claims he was pushed by Kurt Gouveia, who wants the crowd in the game. 3rd down coming up.
Over to the left is where most of the receivers are. You've got 3 guys to the left. The whole defense is over there. The only thing coming the other way is Pritchard, and Gouveia does a heads-up job of staying with the receiver.
It'll be 3rd and goal at the 9-yard line. And if they don't make it here, the Falcons won't be trying any 3-pointers, that's for sure. Miller's pass intercepted by Gouveia. Gouveia had an interception in each of the 3 playoff games last year for the Redskins. Picks off a big one here to maybe win it for Washington.
Once again, trips formation to the left, coming back over the middle. Finally, somebody can hold on to a ball when they're hit in the hands, and it's Gouveia. Yeah, Chris Miller shouldn't have thrown this one in that position. That's true. He's trying to squeak it into Rison. Yeah, it's a force. But why do you not go after a guy like A.J. Johnson? I don't understand.
Ricky Irvins on 1st down from the 20-yard line. Picks up a couple. So here with the Falcons, they had a 1st and goal on the 1 and settled for a field goal, and now had a 1st and goal on the Redskin 9 and came up empty. So they had their chances to come back and tie, and still might, as the Falcons use up the first of their 3 timeouts with 3:33 remaining. Coming up next, it'll be the men's singles final in the U.S. Open. Stefan Edberg against Pete Sampras. I hope it's as good as this game has been.
And this one right here is far from over. The key is the defense again. These guys have been battered. These guys have been leaned on in the 4th quarter, but they've been relied on by Jerry Glanville, and they've got to stop 3 and punt here and give that offense and Chris Miller a chance to redeem themselves.
So you can expect the Falcons to be using their timeouts. They've already used up 1 on defense here. Miller with a 242-yard day, but that 1 interception stings. Second down and 7 from the Redskin 23. 3:35. And Irvins finds an opening, and Ricky Irvins gets a first down for Washington. 10-yard pickup for Irvins. And it was Connor making the tackle with help from McKyer. First interception in 141 passes for Chris Miller, and it was intercepted in the end zone. Falcons have used up another timeout. They have one left.
We'll take another look at that interception by Govea, but I want you to look in this area. Watch the end zone. Watch how many guys in white jerseys are in the end zone. The Redskins are rushing 4, and they're dropping 7. There's so much coverage in there. Almost wherever he threw it, it was going to be a force. And Govea is just standing in the middle of the field, and he tries to force it into Rison, and a nice catch.
Well, I'll tell you, the Redskin defense has really played big time when they've had to, because this was a team in which their defense was fresh all game, and the Redskins should have had a bigger lead than they did, considering how much time they've had the ball. Yet the Skins were threatened twice in their own territory. And they had the answer both times, and Govea with the big interception.
And a big play is the last time they were down there to stop him on the pass.
First and 10 on the 33-yard line. Ricky Irvins nearly broke another one. And Jesse Solomon, the shoe top tackle.
Last week against the New York Jets, the Atlanta Falcons took the ball with 5.5 minutes to go and just pounded it down the Jets' throats and won the game. Here, the Washington Redskins are in exactly the same position. We always referred to it in San Francisco as kind of the 4-minute offense. If you get it with 4 minutes or less, the other team doesn't get it back. You pound it on the ground and take the clock away.
That's what they're doing, as the Falcons are forced to use up their last timeout, but they're not stopping the Redskin running game, as Irvins picked up 8 yards on that play. And soon it'll be a moot point for these Falcons, who just wouldn't give up in this game. They were well down against a team they never beat here, but close doesn't count. Here are some baseball scores in the pennant races of note. Phillies lead the Pirates 6-3 in the 9th inning at Veterans Stadium. Braves over the Astros. Toronto leading Texas in the 4th inning 1-0. The Blue Jays with a 4-game lead over Baltimore, and the Orioles losing to Milwaukee. Brewers came in 6 behind. Here is Ricky Irvins, and he's got another first down, and this game is history, barring a big mistake by the Redskins. A gain of 6.
We're talking about that offense of just taking the ball and running the clock. Watch this line go this way and just smash into the Falcons. This isn't cute. This isn't funny. This is just physical. Nobody gets a clean shot on Irvins till he's 4 yards down the field. That's the line's job. Get the running back the first 4 and let him worry about everything after that.
Irvins has gained 60 yards today, and the Falcons cannot stop the clock anymore. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 47. Irvins is upended by Deion Sanders, and a loss on the play of a couple of yards. We'll wind down to the 2-minute warning. Deion Sanders, what an amazing, phenomenal athlete who plays 2 sports at the same time. Came on here after practicing Thursday, played for the Braves, and scored the winning run Thursday night. And all he did today was return a kickoff 99 yards for a touchdown and play at cornerback virtually the entire game. 2-minute warning, and we'll be back.
Serious lapse of concentration. Right now, this is not a title-type team.
So the Redskins beat the Falcons 24-17.